What's going on, Bird Gang? This is Darren Sproles here. I just want to thank y'all for tuning in to Eagles Brawl, the Brawl Network. Don't forget to subscribe to the show and leave a 5-star rating. Fly Eagles Fly.
Hey guys, welcome back to Philly Sports with Giovanni on the Eagles Brawl. Today I have a special guest, Chris Long. Thank you so much for being here, man. It means a lot.
Hey, anytime, man. Like I said before we got on, anytime I can support a fellow podcaster, I'm all about it, okay? And I love your microphone. You got the big dog microphone. I need to get one like that. That's pretty cool. Shout out to your production crew, too. Your production crew is awesome. You got Mom back there?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mom's always in the background, right?
I wish my mom would help me with my podcast. Like sometimes I call her to get advice on what I should talk about, but to have your mom right there helping you with your stuff, what a show, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I know you told me off the air, but if you could tell everyone your opinion on this season and how the Eagles can fix this mess that they're in.
Yeah, they are in a big mess, G. Like, listen, man, and I've seen you at practice. I know you're like really cool with a lot of players, and I still talk to a lot of them. I talked to a couple of them today. These are my friends, and it stinks to go 0-3 out of the gate. It's really hard, and I think a lot of times people ask, like, are the players just giving up? Do they not care? It's not the case. You know, it's really hard to win in the NFL, and it's especially really hard to win when you've got a number of injuries. You know, you draft an exciting kid in Jalen Reagor out of TCU, and so much of the team's success, but also, you know, Howie Roseman and the coaches, their success hinges on him being successful. He looks great. Then he gets hurt. Dallas Goedert, who's a tremendous player, gets hurt. And so much of a part of their game plan is using both those tight ends. You've got injuries along the offensive line. The year started out that way. And then defensively, there's so much turnover. The secondary, everybody's changing jobs. Malcolm Jenkins is gone, which is a big deal. The defensive line's playing very well. I mean, they played really well on Sunday. But the other position groups are going to have to start to try to step it up. And Carson hasn't been his best, but that's part of the deal with being a pro athlete is you're going to have these slumps. What do you do to respond? And I believe in Carson. I do. And I believe in the coaches, and those guys are going to try to get out of this hole. The good thing for them is second half of the schedule is way easier than the first half.
Yeah, I think that they're gonna have a tough battle this weekend against the 49ers, but I think they can do it.
I do too. You know, the 49ers are dealing with injuries too, G. It's like it's just part of the reality in the NFL, and the Niners are missing a bunch of great players as well. And I think the Eagles should really look at this as a game that they have to steal. You know, with Baltimore and Pittsburgh coming up, you got to steal this one.
Yeah. So the next thing I want to know is, going into the 2017 season with all the hate that you guys got, did you use that hate as fuel to keep going in the season?
Yeah, listen, when myself and some other veterans, including like Torrey Smith, Patrick Robinson, LeGarrette Blount, that really good group of vets we had that came in free agency came in, we all saw something in the roster. Otherwise, we wouldn't have tried to, you know, join the team and be a part of it. We saw a team that, you know, personally for me, when I was getting ready for the Super Bowl the previous year when I was with the Patriots, I was watching film to get ready for the Super Bowl, and I was watching Atlanta play the Philadelphia Eagles. And I thought to myself, that D-line looks really good, and this looks like a team that's ready to be a contender. And when I got here, and when the other guys got there in 2017, I don't think we knew we would be that good that fast. You know, people, as you alluded to, picked us to be, you know, bottom of the league. And so it felt really good to prove to everybody, but not only that, prove to ourselves that we had great potential. And through the year, we just kept passing tests. And eventually we were the team to beat. And then the Carson injury, which was tough, but we overcame that as well.
Yeah, I remember the underdog masks.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Hold on a second, dude. Let me help you here. Let me make sure that this is the right Super Bowl because I got 2 of these bad boys, but that one, big boy, huh?
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. That's the original right there.
That's awesome.
And that's the trophy too. You see that 41-33. We gave up a couple more points than we would have liked to on defense, and we made it interesting. But it's good to get that win.
Yeah.
Right here.
What did it feel like in 2017 when Tom Brady threw that last Hail Mary and then you realize you just won the Super Bowl?
Man, what a relief, dude. I know you. How'd you feel? Were you relieved?
I was so shocked. I was waiting for a flag.
Yeah.
And then when there was no flag, it was like, yes!
Yeah. Listen, dude, I was overjoyed. That's the happiest I've ever been in my football career. You know, having a chance to have won the year before in New England was great, but you could really feel the entire city, you know, right there with you. And it's a city I love and I fell in love with in just a year because I met fans like you. And I just really wanted to be a part of delivering that first one and to see that ball hit the ground. And it took a second, you know, it was like Hail Marys are supposed to be, they're supposed to be not scary. You know, fans think about them like it's a Hail Mary. It's probably not going to happen. But it's one of the scariest plays in football, especially when you have Gronk down there in the end zone. When the ball hit the ground, it was just such a relief for me. And to be able to see my family on the field, to be able to celebrate that with my best friends, to see my son, Waylon, who at the time was 2 years old, and the confetti, the whole thing. There's nothing like it, and I still have confetti here. I'll show you that too because I got that too. Hold on. So this means more to me than almost the trophies. This is my confetti right here. I scooped it from on the field. I got that from both the Super Bowls right there. But you can't get that remade. Like I've got these trophies here. You get them made. Like any player can pay to get one made. It's not the trophy, but it's a replica, which is really cool. You can't get a replica made if you didn't like play on the team or something. But I can get another replica made. I can't get more confetti. And I just love sitting on the field with all that confetti falling down and thinking about Philly fans.
Yeah, I still have some confetti from the parade. I came down. I was scooping up confetti.
Yeah, you got to scoop it up, man. You got to get it while it's hot because it's the hardest thing in pro sports to win a Super Bowl. And trust me, I played on a lot of bad teams, so I waited a long time, and it's tough.
Yeah. The next question I want to ask is, it's because when I grow up, I know I can't physically play football, but I still want to be in football, and I want to be a head coach for the Philadelphia Eagles.
That'd be awesome.
And I want to know, what kind of stuff did you have to give up to get into the NFL?
Well, listen, I was very lucky. We were all very lucky to play the game for a living. I mean, it's in a lot of ways, it's a dream job to be able to connect with people like yourself and play in front of 60,000 people. That's amazing. I mean, like all the cheering, it's just such an adrenaline rush. But there's a lot of hard work and sacrifice that goes into it too, and people only see Sunday. You know, at different times I had to battle injuries and had to sacrifice things, you know, sacrifice a lot of things that I would have enjoyed to do in my 20s. I sacrificed a real college experience because I just put my nose down and focused on football and focused on getting my classwork done. And I had one goal in mind. When I was in high school, I played 4 sports, but I would be at the gym till 8:00 at night after, and then go home and do my homework. You know, like these are sacrifices that you have to make over a long period of time to do what we do. And even if you make those sacrifices, nothing's guaranteed. So and you know all about overcoming obstacles and being, tough and that sort of thing. And in that way, I think you'd make a great pro football player. But let me tell you something. If you can be a coach, I think that's even better because they make a lot of money and they get to call the shots. And I think you'd be a terrific coach.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The next question I want to ask is, who was your favorite football player growing up? Was it your dad?
It's a great question. My favorite team growing up was the Carolina Panthers, strangely enough. And I grew up in Virginia. I still live in Virginia. So it was that or be a Washington football team fan. And nah.
Wow.
So when the Carolina Panthers came in 1995, it was an expansion team. And I'm 10 years old. And you're like, man, you're old, Chris. I mean, 1995 sounds like ancient history, doesn't it? But that's when I kind of fell in love with the Panthers, and I love Julius Peppers. I mean, Julius Peppers was one of my all-time favorites. I loved watching Kevin Green at the tail end of his career in Carolina. But any good defensive end was like a big favorite of mine. And obviously my dad as well. I mean, somebody who's a huge role model to me and a friend. So I never looked at him as a player. I looked at him as my dad. So to say he was my favorite player, it would be a little bit of a different thing. I guess for me, it was Julius Peppers. And the coolest thing is now I get to hang out with Julius Peppers sometimes. Julius Peppers is somebody I would count as somebody. If I run into Julius Peppers, we hang out and have a conversation. It's just really cool where football's taken me that, you get respect from your peers and you meet these people that you grew up watching.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's been cool, man.
What was your favorite sport growing up?
Man, that's a good question. I love baseball, and my brother Kyle, who played for the Bears, was a better baseball player than me. He got drafted as a lefty pitcher to the White Sox in like the 30th round, and he went to Florida State to play baseball and eventually settled on football. But for me, it was baseball. I loved it. I loved like the camaraderie, time in the dugout. I loved like hitting batting practice till I had blisters, like the grind of that. I played first base and I was a pretty good hitter. But by the time it got to like my sophomore year in high school, it became apparent that if I wanted to play sports like collegiately and beyond, my best shot was probably football.
Yeah. Did you always want to be a professional football player?
No, I didn't. Like, honestly, maybe it was because my dad played and I just knew kind of like the wear and tear and the stress and that sort of thing that it can have on you and the toll it can take. I always wanted to do something different, and even through college, I said to myself, almost to my junior year, I decided like my junior year that I was going to pursue pro football, but that was not my goal. My goal was always to be the best that I could be at whatever I was doing. And I outworked everybody to try to do that. But that didn't mean that I had to be a pro football player. There were a ton of different avenues in life that I would have been happy to take. It was just the avenue that chose me. And I chose it by preparation and hard work. But if it hadn't happened, I'd have been perfectly happy to do something else, and that's why I think I'm enjoying retirement, because there's so much more to life than just football.
Yeah, I know you said that you played baseball when you were a kid. Did you play any other sports?
I played basketball and lacrosse as well. And I was not awesome at basketball, but I was decent. And lacrosse, I started late, which is a fun sport. And they have lacrosse up your way, right? I mean, they play lacrosse around where you live, right?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, so it's a cool sport. Like lacrosse is cool because it's kind of a mixture of the other sports, It's kind of like when you play defense, you take skills from basketball. Offensively, you have to have hand-eye coordination like baseball with a stick and a ball, and you can hit people too, which is fun.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. It means a lot to me. And I looked up to you so much when you played, and it just means so much to me.
Hey, man, this means a lot to me. This means a lot to me. I saw that you had a podcast. Somebody had retweeted your stuff before, and I was really honored that you would ask me to come on. I love the hair, man. I love the green hair. Maybe the Eagles will get a win this weekend.
Yeah, hopefully.
What's your prediction? What's your prediction? Do you have a score prediction maybe this weekend?
I think it's gonna be. I think we're going into overtime again. I think it's gonna be 21-21, and then the Eagles are gonna kick a field goal and win.
Well, good. They got to kick a field goal this time, huh? You got to line up and get this thing kicked. I like your. I don't know that Eagles fans will love sitting through another overtime, but I like your prediction if they finish with a win, right?
Yeah.
Well, keep up the good work, man. You're doing great at this podcasting thing. You're crushing it.
Thank you.
Yeah, buddy.
Where can they find you? What's your podcast?
They can find me on the Green Light Pod. It's my little podcast, but it's not as cool as yours. And there's some adult language on there too. So you make sure you ask your mom before you listen to my podcast. Okay. Listen, I've loved being here. I appreciate you so much, Giovanni. You're great at this.
Thank you.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you guys have a great day. Maybe I'll see you when I'm back up in Philly for a game once all these germs are gone and we can get back to hanging out. I'll see you at the link, okay, bud?
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, man. Y'all take it easy.
You
Thanks,
too.
Mama.
Thank
See ya.
you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.